Okay, so in this video, I am I just basically cut down all of my cucumber, remaining cucumber vines. I think I started off with about 5 of these pods of cucumbers weeks ago, probably a couple months ago, went down to just 3. And today I decided that after, gosh, I think it was something like 170 days of cucumber plant growth and fruit production, it was time to chop it all down. So now this video is going to show me um, cleaning it out and preparing it for new seed planting. But first I need to grab my scissors. Okay, so we see a bunch of remnants here. I've got a trash bag here because I'm going to be trimming the roots, which I'll try to show them in this video, and just kind of cleaning it all up. So I'm just gonna start just kind of, see, I can't pull it out. The roots are really tough, but I may be able to pull it and get it out. Yep, okay. I'm just kind of ripping it because these plants are gone. There's lots of roots in there. This is the, okay, this one doesn't want to come. So I'm going to kind of cut the roots so I can get it out. That part is done. Now, I've got all these little opening covers. I'm going to take these off so I don't lose any down my drain. This just kind of keeps the openings that aren't being used from letting light get down into the root area, which could in turn, it could encourage algae growth inside the water. So I'm going to put these to the side, and now I'm going to lift the lid, so, or the pod cover here. Wow, lots of roots down in there. If you look at this, you can see a little bit there. I'm going to put this in the sink. This is why I'm doing this near the sink. But I'm going to tilt this. There's lots of water in here, but I'm going to tilt it towards the camera. I don't know if you can see all the roots in there. I'm even going to lift them. It's always fun. Now there's some brown roots in there. I'm not sure. Oh, my previous plants. In here, I also had some lettuce and other plants growing. And I just removed the plants, but I didn't remove the roots. So that could have also been a reason why my cucumbers started to develop some type of disease. The leaves, let's see. I'll show some of why I say that. So here's one that I had chopped off today. The leaves start to get these spots, and from my research I was finding out that these spots mean it's some type of disease or something in the plant, and it was probably coming from the water. And then this is what starts to happen with the fruit. They start to get this weird shape where it's not growing there, and it's actually pretty flexible there. And I cut probably, I think I had six cucumbers that were doing something very similar. Here's another. You can see lots of vine. I pruned it back about a couple weeks ago, but I don't know if you can see on the vines, it really started to dry out. And they were just becoming very viney. And you can see here what I'm talking about. See the brown spotting on there. We were still getting flowers though. I mean, we were still producing more flowers. I even had some that was producing more fruit. So like, I don't know if you can see in here, there was a new cucumber forming, but it was time. So I'm going to get some gloves. Not sure if I want to put my hands in that. So I've got to remove all of this root, so I can clean the reservoir and get it prepped for new plant growth, new seedlings. Haven't decided what I'm going to grow. I'm thinking of doing this one as a to start some seeds. I need to start some basil. So I may start a bunch of basil here and then transfer them to pots. I can't let them grow here fully because the unit that I'm using for this only gets to be about, it only allows for about 12 inches of height, and my basil can get really tall, almost 24 inches. So I won't be able to continue them growing here, but it's a good, we can put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 pods. So I won't use all 12, but I may start about 6 basil plants in here. And then when they get to me about maybe 4 or 5 inches in height, I may move them to pots, but we're gonna see. So I'm really intrigued by plants and the roots and everything, but if you look at this, I don't know if you can see these roots. This was the lifeline to my, oh, what's this? Something's in here. I don't know what that is. Some kind of sponge. I don't remember putting in here. Oh, I bet this came off my filter. My filter's my filter. I'm gonna have to put that back. Let me clean that. Yeah, the filter is exposed. So the pump, I think that's the filter for the pump. So I'm gonna have to take that apart. I'm glad I saw that just now. It was resting inside of all of this. As you can see, I also have some cords. So this cord is to the, not sure. Oh, this is for my pump. And this is for my, I think it's for my level indicator. So it's gonna, I think this tells us when the water level is at a certain height, I believe. But so I'm being careful not to get those end pieces wet. So I'm gonna kind of just rip this apart because I got to get this electrical cord from being wrapped. See where I put the gloves on? Lots of roots wrapped around. I'm gonna squeeze all this water out. This is the lifeline. This is the veins and everything else. I'm gonna put that in my trash bag. See how easy that just comes out. Now I just pretty much have water in here. I had seen a recommendation on cleaning this that I should remove this. So after I pour the water out, I'm gonna go and get I'm gonna get my little screwdriver to remove that. So let's move this. Let's make sure we don't lose our little filter. I'm gonna put that here. And I'm going to dump this water out. I don't know if you can see the water as it's leaving. It's fairly clear. It's just got like some brown, but it's pretty clear. It's not cloudy. So I want to believe the plants were getting good water supply. That's the inside of that. Just needs some cleaning. But so you can see here, these 2 screws will remove this. And the reason I want to do that is if you can see, I don't know if you can see inside of here, in here, there is a lot of roots, and I want to get that out and clean it. This is my first time removing that, so let's see. Be back. Okay, so sorry about that. I didn't know I was gonna pull these tools out, and I didn't know which screwdriver to use, but I'm gonna see which one will fit. This one kind of fits. Yeah, that one's too small. So let's see if we can remove these screws. One's coming out. And I just gotta remember how to take it apart, so I'll put it back together properly. I saw someone's video where they did this. So I'm gonna put a screw there. And it says it's important that you get all those old roots out of this when you start fresh. Some kind of weird bug. When you start fresh, the new plants don't have all that old residue and gunk that's trapped inside of here. So I'm gonna lift. Oh yeah, there's lots in there. Okay, the lid doesn't want to come off. But we're gonna lift that pump. Look at that pump. That pump is covered. If you can see that, that pump is covered with roots. So I'm gonna clean this off with a little rinse. Oh, gotta keep the cord out of the water. So I'm just take these off. After I clean this, I'm gonna set this to the side. And I gotta figure out where that filter screen came from. I think I see it. I think I see where it goes. It's just weird. I've never seen it come off before, but anything's possible. And I'm glad I saw it before I threw the roots in the trash. Because I think I need that. It kind of protects some. I'm going to use this to get some of these out. There's some inside of the actual pump. Great. Great. Lots of little roots that don't want to come out. I want those to come out of there. Oh, look at this. And it has like, there's a dial or something. I need to find out what this dial is for the pump. I can't get these roots out right now. So I'm not going to fool with this too much right now, but I'm not done cleaning this. I got to find something to finish cleaning it. And I'm going to put that over there. So I got all the ones on the outside off, but there are roots all in there. And I think it's because this little filter had come off and it wasn't blocking them. So we'll leave that there. But I'm going to take these roots off the filter. So I'm going to give it a good clean so we can start fresh. The nice thing I like about hydroponics, growing food hydroponically, is I get to control the environment of my plant growth, what is being fed, the elements. It's getting water that I provide to it, not just so much the rainwater, which nothing's against that. It's just I don't know enough about it. I'm gonna let that dry. I don't know enough about outdoor gardening, so, and I wanted to start a garden, so this was my best option. So I'm gonna just kind of loosen up some of this stuff in here. There's just some, it's not much. I guess I could take this and just kind of like do this, yeah. And I don't want to spray myself, which I have done, which is quite funny, in a way, to me at least. Okay, I don't want to spray. There's like a little hole there. I don't want to spray in that hole. I'm just kind of, this is when I've sprayed myself before, when I came on this side. Okay, so this, everything's pretty loose. I'm going to just pull some more of these roots off that are stuck down in here. Again, I've been growing herbs and vegetables now hydroponically about, I guess, 2 years. My first thing was just herbs, and then I really gotta use something. This is like stuck. I probably shouldn't be doing this, but I don't feel like, I want this to be clean. It doesn't want to come out. 1 second. Okay. I'm gonna try a fork to get in here. Oh yeah, there it is. And just kind of get in these little corners that my fingers can't reach. And just get all, this is the thing that, this is what tells the system when the water is full, I believe, or the water level. And I don't know if this comes off, but I can sense, I can feel that there are roots down in there. But I was saying that I've been growing food hydroponically now for about 2 years. Started with just some herbs, the stuff that came with the kit. And then I started buying my own seeds and putting them in the system. I like this system. It's really a system for dummies, including myself, because if you load everything in there properly, the system will tell you what you need to do. So now I'm going to clean these off. So again, I'm just kind of talking while I'm doing this. It wouldn't take this long, but you guys are keeping me company. And it's not a race. It's not like I have a deadline. Okay, so something else someone told me is that when you clean this, there's a way to take this top cover off. So between this gray and this black, there's a space. And they said you can remove it to get the roots from inside of here. I'm gonna try it without breaking the system. They said you move these little clip thingies somehow. I don't know how. You push them, or I'm gonna break my nails, one of them. Uh-oh, oh yeah, I feel it. Okay. But you've got to do them like at the same time. I don't know how that's possible. This is like a trick. This is like a trick thing or something, because I cannot possibly hold all these down with just 2 fingers. I think I'm going to get it. Okay, every time I get one piece, another piece snaps back in place. Okay, so we got that one. Okay, oh. No. This is interesting. Almost. No, don't snap back. They're all snapping back into place. This is funny. Okay. I don't know how in the heck. Oh, there's a piece in there. And I'm trying not to break my nails, right? That's what's making this even more interesting. Oh, I know. I'm about to stick these scissors in here and pry this part down, because it just needs something to keep it. Okay, don't do as I do, okay? Obviously, because I don't know what I'm doing. But I'm learning. I'm just trying to wedge something in there so it doesn't keep closing back. Pretty soon I'm gonna give up, but I'm trying not to give up. That's why I can't wedge it, because it has like a huge lip that keeps, it's not as shallow as I thought it would be. Come on. There. Okay, so I got that wedged. Got that wedged so that end doesn't close back on me again. Then we're going to try the other ends. And I'm thinking if that knife stays in there, which we hope it will, we can, my fingers hurt. It's gonna work. I'm not gonna let this thing beat me. The only way it's gonna beat me is if that knife comes back out. I need it not to. And they said, don't be fearful that it's gonna snap off. What in the world? I really didn't want to be having this kind of crazy discussion on the video, but it's quite interesting. You guys are catching this live as I probably damage my unit. Let's not hope not. This does not want to come off. I'm really tempted to just pry this thing. Let me just see if there's any. I don't see much, what do you call it? Roots in here. So I'm thinking we just may not get this thing off today. There's like 3 of them holding it in. So, not for today, another day. It all snapped right back in place. Let's just finish. That was an experience. Okay. I'm just going to clean the top off. I'm going to, as tight as that is, I want to believe there's not a lot of roots in there because it would not let me get it off. I almost had it, but my fingers are sore now. They're like red, and I just can't. I just can't. Oh, look, I'm getting some. Some of the roots are just coming out on their own anyway through the holes. So maybe if I keep doing that. Okay. As far as I'm concerned, good as new. Okay. So, what we have to do is, I wanted to still see about this. Let's see if we can get this fork in here and get these roots out. Oh, look at that. Looky, looky. Some roots are coming out. That's what I wanted. That was more important than trying to take that cover off that gave me such a fight. Okay. Maybe I can edit that out. Maybe I'll leave it in. It makes good conversation, for me at least. Probably boring to anybody else. Oh, so I started to say I did herbs. Started to do some vegetables of my own with new seeds. The cucumbers was something I wasn't sure how they would do hydroponically in this garden. And they actually did quite well. I was really surprised. I think I got about 10 good cucumbers. But I did find out later, because again, I'm new at this and you learn by trial and error, that when I first planted these, I planted multiple seeds per pod. I don't know if you remember when I still had these in here. Oh, here it is. You can see this plant had 2 plants coming out of, or this pod had 2 plants coming out of this pod. I didn't know, and all of these did, same thing, that I should have, once they started to germinate, I should have removed one and only kept 1 plant per pod. Apparently, that's a problem. So I've now learned, because I'm a new gardener, and again, I don't know the language and stuff. I may say stuff wrong because this is all new for me. Oh, I could have just taken this off. Great. Okay. So I'm now going to put this back in. Screw it back in, right? think it goes like this. Those suctions going. I don't think those suctions are doing anything. I think that's just for GP. I believe this little filter goes right here in this slot. And somehow it came off. So I'm going to put it back. And then we're going to put the little cover back on. This is our pump. Yes. Oh, so the filter doesn't even have a lid. That's why it just easily comes up. Interesting. That's weird. Okay. So, I don't know how many people who are watching this, who may watch this, have grown hydroponically and have suggestions for me as I'm learning. Yeah. Have suggestions for me. Not so much video suggestions because I'm not trying to be an expert, like a vlogger or whatever they call it. I would probably need to be able to get these screws back in though. But like if anyone has any suggestions from experience on indoor gardening or just gardening in general, tips that can help me be a better gardener. Because I feel like, oh, now this screw is going in quite easily. The other one must be in crooked. So we'll get this one in. Right? But then this one, it's not going in that smooth. So it must be in off center or something. See if we can get it to line up. Okay. I think that's it. This side's just really tight. And let me see if this screwdriver works. And that's a flat screwdriver. So is this one, but it's a little smaller. So maybe no, I needed a Phillips, but I don't have a Phillips this small. So we're going to just struggle with this one. I mean, it's working. It's just my hands are wet. Let's try this. There we go. I needed something to grip it with, to give it some muscle. Wow. I don't remember taking a lot of turns. Let's see if this one's all the way tight. Yeah, it is. Okay, so this is back together. This is good. I'm going to put it back here. There's that. We will put this back on. Oh, I have to make sure that that little pump thing lines up. And it did. It's on there nice and snug. We'll just wipe everything down before transferring it back over to the unit. And then once I have it in the unit, I will turn the video back on and we'll do a follow-up of planting the seeds and getting, once I decide what seeds I'm going to put in here, then I will do part 2 to this video. But that's basically how you tear down or rip out or put to rest plants that have been growing in the aerogarden hydroponic system, getting rid of the roots and cleaning out the system and getting it ready for the next planting. See you then.